Good evening and welcome to the Nikki and Rule podcast experience. I'm Rule Sample, joined as always by Nikki Bascom. Good evening, Nikki.
Good evening, Rule. How are you doing?
I am doing fine. We're catching Nikki as she is working in her backyard today, surrounded by forest and trees.
And here we have this wonderful topiary.
So, welcome back. I hope everybody had a good Christmas season and time with family and friends as we get ready for the new year. This is a special show tonight. And Nikki, I'm going to have you, as always, introduce our guest.
Because I follow people. I think I'm a stalker because every single guest that we have had on has been someone that I have followed around like a little puppy dog.
Well, that's what the police reports say.
I'm waiting for them to come knock on my door. So this is someone that I followed around for a couple of years now, and I'm so excited to have him on. I'm excited about everybody. What a wonderful life to have when you're excited to talk to people. But I am so excited to introduce John Hinnant to everyone tonight. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, John.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Hey, John, I went on your Facebook page today, and in preparation, I got a book about Bitcoins and cryptocurrency so that we can have a great conversation about that tonight.
Unfortunately, I don't know anything about that because my account was hacked back in July, and, it's unfortunate. And I did a press release, actually, before Labor Day, and zero media outlets reported it. And Facebook fortunately shut the account down, I think. If you can find it, I probably need to report it again. But yeah, I've been Facebook free for a while, and actually it's quite refreshing. I've kind of enjoyed not being on there.
Well, Nikki and I were actually having that conversation about often the disconnect between people on Facebook and social media and people off Facebook and social media. It's just it's a psychotic break, actually, isn't it?
Well, hey, you stole my words.
Go ahead, John. She interrupts everybody.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago. If you're planning events or you're planning something you want somebody to show up to, you cannot rely on Facebook, and it's just the way it is. And there's no social media app you can rely on. You have to do the old-fashioned thing of picking up the phone, calling, going and talking to people, maybe hand mailing a U.S. mail an invitation, and Facebook I just found was unreliable for, you schedule an event, you do an event, you plan it on Facebook, you invite people RSVP, you print out the RSVP list, you show up to an event, and 10% of them show up, and it's just, to me, it's not. It is what it's designed to be.
Yes, it's
a social media tool to connect with people. Or enrage people or make people lose friends. I don't know. I mean, I enjoy X right now, and Instagram's fun, but I got back to LinkedIn a little bit. People keep asking me to join.
Are you on
I don't know.
Are you on Truth Social?
I am on Truth Social, but I don't use it. The Facebook version or the meta version of Twitter. What is it?
Oh, Threads.
Threads, yeah. Like, I need another social media app like I need another hole in my head.
Yeah, nobody uses Threads. Nobody uses Threads. So,
and then the Blue Sky.
And then Blue Sky.
Liberal
Nikki's on Blue Sky.
Yeah, nobody's going there.
Somebody has to go there.
Somebody's got to go there.
I trolled Nextdoor and Reddit just for fun, just so you don't have to. But
Aww.
Well,
thanks for taking one for the team.
Well, John, I got to tell you is that during the campaign, you brought up an issue that's actually going to be a big thing in Washington. That whole ActBlue controversy. That's not going to go anywhere, and that you broke that story here in New Hanover.
Well,
County.
Thank goodness for attorneys general like Ken Paxton in Texas. Man, he's all over it, and I think it's gonna have a huge impact on the next 4 years. It'll have an impact in 2 years in the midterms, and I think it'll have an impact in the presidential in 28. And I think And ActBlue has admitted to some malfeasance, accepting foreign gift cards that have no trackability to the donor or the source. And so I think it's going to probably have a huge impact. I would not be surprised if a new Democrat fundraising platform showed up.
Yeah. I was getting ready to ask if you could explain to some of our viewers that might not know what ActBlue is or not readily involved in the political scene what ActBlue was. You kind of touched on it for a second.
Yeah, so in the political circles, so for politicians, depending on what your party affiliation is, there are online fundraising platforms so that you can accept donations online. PayPal and Zelle and Cash App and Venmo don't really lend themselves to the campaign finance reporting standards that are required. And so these companies and the Obamas really, ActBlue was a product of the Obama administration, really kind of revolutionized this. And so ActBlue is a fundraising platform for Democrat politicians. Republicans historically used products like WinRed in my campaigns, and I think Nikki used Antidote, which is the word antidote without an E. But these platforms before somebody submits a donation, it captures. But what happens is when you look at campaign finance reports for Democrats who probably raised more than $200,000-$300,000, which was my case 2 years ago, you see 50 cent and $1 and $4 and $5, and you see hundreds of these small dollar donations. And at under $50, the campaign finance report, it's reported anonymously, and for both sides. Mm-hmm. But they're supposed to keep track of it. And what ActBlue admitted to was that they were allowing donations from foreign-based or foreign-originated gift cards, and they had no idea who the donor was.
Unbelievable.
And so then ActBlue is the allegation is that ActBlue, at the direction of somebody, sprinkles that money around to different candidates. And so they accumulate millions and millions of dollars, and so it might end up in a local DA race, for example, or a local House race, or a local Senate race, or Planned Parenthood. Somebody's going to spend money to propagate Democrat things. And I'll tell you about, while we're on Planned Parenthood, Elon Musk, Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, tweeted yesterday as a question, should we defund Planned Parenthood? A lot of people don't realize that Planned Parenthood receives federal funding, and it's a money laundering operation. It's the federal government, under the direction historically of Democrats, to fund Planned Parenthood, who then turn around and fund campaigns to defeat Republicans. And so we have a great shot at great. I mean, we have the next 6 months of our lives are going to be more consequential than the whole 4 years of the first Donald Trump administration. No doubt.
Yes, and I would argue that the Republicans have anywhere from 6 months to maybe 18 months to get things done, because the midterms are coming up. They've got to move quickly.
Here locally, we have municipals coming up, so we got to get our act together quick.
Yes.
Quick.
Yeah, and there's a convention February 8th, so it's going to be
8th,
even faster.
I'm not gonna be here.
Yeah, yes, you are. So, my older sister, who is a PhD type, still pronounces municipal because she sounded it out as a kid.
She probably uses aluminium foil.
Aluminium, that's right. So we invited John here not just for his good looks, but for his prognosticating power as we get ready for 2025. I am so glad that 2024 is over. This was just a horrendous year. So
it wasn't that bad.
It
Well,
was
the first 20 days of January are going to be very rocky. Let's be honest.
they're going to be rough. But today is.
Look how skinny I am.
This is our first annual prediction show, as with John Hinnant joining us for his vast prognosticating powers and his insights into the future.
Too many big words. Too many big words.
We're going to talk about what comes next, Nikki. So our show, our prediction part of the show is broken down into 3 rounds. The first round is one prediction in politics for each of the levels: national, state, and the local level, which could either be the county or the city. Now, scheduled events like Donald Trump getting inaugurated is not allowed, and I have a little button here that will exactly right. Okay.
Where's my cowbell?
For each, we hit it. For each correct prediction, the other members of the panel owe the prognosticator 1 drink. And I drink Guinness, by the way. Round 2.
Real quick, have you had Guinness's alcohol-free version?
I have not. That sounds like an abomination.
No.
Guinness is making an alcohol-free version?
It is an amazing, and it's causing, it's so popular in Europe, it's created a shortage of regular Guinness.
Really?
It is so, I bought it for a campaign fundraising event one time, and it was incredible. It was incredible. Wow. Yeah, if you need an NA product for an event, the Guinness NA non-alcoholic version at Harris Teeter is amazing. It's really good.
Okay, does it still have that awful nitrogen tablet on the inside?
It does. It's a can. You pour it in a glass, and it is phenomenal.
Okay.
I think, Nikki, you were at an event I had some at Marsh Oaks. I had it at Marsh Oaks.
How did I miss that?
Well, you probably were there, but you probably did not have it.
I wasn't drinking the NA stuff. Come on.
The second prediction is in the area. Yeah, the second area is in the prediction of culture, such as Whoopi Goldberg moving to Germany. For each, if a person wins the culture prediction, they will get their merch of choice for the Wilmington Conservative merch store, which is coming online very, very soon. And then the round 3 is the winner-take-all prediction. This is the Hail Mary. This is the big one. This is the go big or go home prediction. If the person wins this, then all bets are off, and they get a dinner, and they get a nice dinner from the other 2.
It's a pool party at the sample home.
Well, no, because I'm going to win this one. So I'm probably not. So, all right. So now here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that I sent these rules out ahead of time, but none of us know what the other ones are predicting. So it's going to be an interesting show.
Wait. What? Who could have predicted that mine and John Hinnant's cups would match? Odd man out rule.
Where's that button? So round 1.
I'm really not excited about AI, John.
Hey, it's our shtick. We've got to have a shtick. I think Nikki came out looking like Katie Couric, actually, but
I think I look like Tracy Mitchell. If you know who Tracy Mitchell is,
I have no idea who Tracy Mitchell is.
Oh my gosh,
no,
she's one of the precinct. Well, used to be a precinct chair.
Curie Beach, right?
Oh, okay, all
down
right,
at Curie Beach.
Yeah,
you gotta look her up. I think that's who it looks like. I like her, so it's not a bad thing.
All right. Well, okay. All right. So, John, you're the guest. Let's start off with your national prediction. What do you think is going to happen at the national level for 2025?
I think in probably the first 6 months of Donald Trump's administration, there will be an executive order to ban mRNA, messenger RNA technology.
You think so?
I think it's going to be big. I think I've watched a really long, couple of really long podcasts, typically during a pharmaceutical trial. In fact, in the 2007, 2008, when the, whatever that pandemic was, they developed an mRNA vaccine, and in the clinical trials, 50 people had complications and they pulled it.
Interesting.
And there's been 3,400 peer-reviewed studies based on this podcast I listened to. So take that for what it's worth. But of the people who took the mRNA the first time, there were over 700 people who died in the first 30 days of taking an mRNA jab. And so I think that information is going to land in the first, it's out there now. And I think that is going to be a thing at the federal level. And I think Trump's going to just do an executive order, and Congress, there'll be lawsuits, obviously. And I think that by that time, the information will be overwhelming for Congress to act on it and say, you know what, this is right. We got to pull this off. The technology is not safe until we have it fully developed through a clinical trial. I think that's probably not where you thought I was going with that, but I think that's going to be something that's going to probably happen in the first 6 months of the Trump administration.
The ironic thing about that is that that was all developed as a part of his Operation Warp Speed.
Yeah. And I think, the thing is there are people who are reaching out to him now and saying, hey, you got to do this. And when you understand leadership and accountability, in leadership, one cannot hold themselves accountable. And so I think a lot of his supporters, RFK included, Casey and Callie Means, I think that there's some other doctors out there that have really put Casey and Callie Means to the fence and said, hey, you're talking about food, but there's a bigger problem. And this mRNA technology is killing people. And I think I'm probably coming off as a huge conspiracy theorist on this, but I think the first 6 months of the Trump administration, you'll see something like that. I think that's going to happen.
First 6 months. Okay. John Hinnant with that. I did not see that one coming. Nikki Bascom, what do you got?
Well, I want to talk a little bit more about what John said about conspiracy theories. And, I'm doing a lot of genealogy right now with my family history. And if it wasn't for some people being conspiracy theorists, and everyone says it as if this is such a bad thing, but if it wasn't for someone with a somewhat maybe conspiracy theory saying, hey, I want you to watch this. I don't know if it's true, but if it is, let's be prepared. And I think we have taken that whole label of conspiracy theorists to a whole new level, and it shouldn't be a bad word. It shouldn't be a bad word at all. So rock on with your conspiracy theories, John Hinnant. Let's do it. Let's keep an eye out for this stuff, and let's not get blindsided. I mean, and you know what? And I say this a lot when it comes to my kids in the school district, and that people talk about the trans movement. And the one thing that scares me is not trans. What scares me is the people that take advantage. So when it comes to the warp speed that Trump put in place, he was doing it out of the kindness of his heart. He was doing it to save people's lives. And there will always, always be someone to take advantage of that. So I think that's where that theory might come into play, is someone's taking advantage somewhere. And, but rock on with the conspiracy theories. You ain't going to hear me complain.
Like you said, he's going to recognize his mistake, and I think he's going to have a pool of people around him. And but yeah, I can go deeper if you want to go deeper. But obviously,
well, we don't have to this time. We're going to have you on again. Trust me. You're going to be back.
All right, Nikki, you've stalled enough. What is your prediction for the national level?
Gosh, on the national level, talking about Trump learning his lessons in the last 6 years. I think he's going to take more of a back seat. I think it's going to be JD Vance. I think JD Vance is going to be. I think Trump is not necessarily going to be quiet. I think he's going to work behind the scenes a little bit more. And I think JD Vance is going to be the one that everyone's watching, the one that everyone's paying attention to, because I think he's putting him. I think Trump is going to put JD Vance up as the next president. So that's my prediction, that Trump's still going to be Trump. He's not going to keep his mouth shut, but it's going to be more of a JD Vance show.
He's smart enough to make his legacy, and that's going to be through JD Vance.
I think that's a very good prediction, and here's why. Today, Trump endorsed Mike Johnson as Speaker of the House.
I saw that. I think that's and Mike Johnson, after a couple of fits and stumbles, put forward a CR that Trump endorsed, and so I think, hey, we got what we wanted, and now he's my guy, and so I think she's right on JD Vance. I think he has the ability to speak to the average voter like Trump does. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, my prediction at the national level is that, again, because of all that, and because people like to be on the winning side, I think you're going to see one, maybe two Democrats in the Senate come over to the Republican side. I think they're going to, and I don't think it's going to be John Fetterman. I think it's going to be somebody else. But I think
he's not that smart.
Yeah, he's not that smart. But I think we're going to start seeing the reemergence of the Blue Dog Democrats, and down here in the South, the Blue Dog Democrats really got hit hard under the Obama and the Biden administrations. Is that they were no longer allowed to be these socially conservative, politically conservative Democrats. Is that they had to go all the way to the left, and I think people will start seeing that again. So that's my prediction, and I have a feeling that's my first drink that I'm going to be being owed. On the state level,
you did see that in Florida there was a Democrat representative that flipped to Republican, and there's a huge uproar over that.
I'm telling you. Nikki, at the state level, what are you going to see?
I have no idea. I'm sad. I'm sad at the state level. I honestly think with the legislators that we have in Raleigh right now, Josh Stein, Mo Green, Lord, and our AG, I think having Dave Boyack take over Board of Election Oversight, auditing, I think we're going to see a lot of election reform. That seems so vague, though. State.
It's okay.
Oh, the state. I'm scared for North Carolina. I really am. I'm worried.
I actually am not. I'm going to predict that at the state level, because Josh Stein is so far to the left, and because his AG is so far to the left, we're going to see the same thing happen at the state level. Was that we might not see Democrats change to Republicans, but we will see Democrats cross the aisle to support veto overrides. And so we're going to see at least a half a dozen veto overrides this year. As the Republicans try to pass some sensible legislation, Josh Stein is going to override it, of course, and or veto it, of course. And these sensible legislators are going to veto. We're going to override those vetoes. Our friend Ted Davis loves to push that little green button, and he's very happy every time he does that. John Hinnant, what do you got at the state level?
So this might shock you, but I agree with you, Rule. And to that end, I think Josh Stein's going to have his rear end handed to him a couple times before he signs the first budget of the biennium.
That's right.
Biennium. So I think he's going to sign a budget and agree with the legislature on a budget after he's had his rear end handed to him with a couple of veto overrides. I realize, so he'll have some Democrats vote to override, and I agree with you on that. And what's going to happen is those Democrats who vote to override the veto are going to cross the aisle, shake hands, look people in the eye, and do a deal. I think that's going to happen. So that's my big prediction.
Outstanding.
Stein will sign a budget.
Outstanding.
Agree with
Nikki,
the legislature.
Nikki, you're really racking up the drinks that you're going to be buying. Here in the at the local level,
I'm taking it all, baby.
At the local level, I'll go first. I think that because of the very, very liberal AG that we've just put in and the very, very liberal governor, I think that Wilmington, just out of spite, is going to declare itself a sanctuary city. I think that they're going to try that because there's only one Republican on the county commission, the city council down there, and I think they're going to try to go that far to the left. I think they're just going to try to go that far left. John, what do you got?
So my prediction that I had in my head before you offered that, whatever that was, we're going to sweep the city council elections. I think we're going to elect 3 Republicans.
You think so?
I think we're going to, I think technically we have 2 Republicans on council right now. So it's Luke, Charlie, and Clifford Barnett are up for re-election this year.
Yeah, that's right. I got to get my numbers right if I'm going to make predictions.
I think the citizens of the city of Wilmington, I'm one. I've got 4 votes in my house. We all agree. The tax increases are enough. We've had enough. The wasteful spending's enough. Selling off of surplus properties, pennies on the dollar is enough. We're done with this. The banter up at the chambers, council chambers. I think we're going to sweep the city council election. I think Republicans will take over, even though it's a nonpartisan race.
There's
whatever.
no such thing. It's always partisan.
It's nonpartisan for the people that don't pay attention.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And
If you're smart enough to get people to the polls and vote the way you want them to, it's nonpartisan.
Well, the first step is being smart enough to listen to this podcast. That's where it starts, right here.
Subscribe and like. Subscribe and
listen
like.
to you, Nikki Bascom. Outstanding. Which brings us over
I
to
get an
Nikki.
extra point. I get an extra point, right?
No, you
there's
don't.
no points. You gotta be right.
So, Nikki, your prediction for the local level.
Oh, local levels. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I think, I think our mayor.
Prepared.
I was very ill prepared. it was so funny.
This is what I
How
deal
many
with every week. Every week I deal with this, John. Every week on this podcast, I have to be here. I've got a vamp like this as she goes through her
very
thought
exhaustive
process.
email to read through. Like, here's what we're going to talk about.
Thank you, John.
To you, my friend.
All right, Nikki.
You're a cold one. I think locally, I think we might find a common sense Republican mayor for our local races. I think someone is as much as I would love Luke Waddell. I don't think he's interested in it, but I think we might find someone that's ready to take on that role. I think we might have.
I think we're in a year where if someone were to step up with some name ID,
mm-hmm.
I think it'll make Bill spend some money and do some work. I think that's not a far-fetched proposal, but it's not me.
I think he's done though. I honestly, from what I'm hearing around town is that he's ready to pass the torch. I don't think he's ready to pass the torch to a Republican, but I think the city is. I think we're ready.
Yeah, he likes. So I was downtown when we brought Joe Riley, the long-term mayor of Charleston, South Carolina, to this town to talk about, how did you guys do it? And, growing up, my mother always said, we're like Charleston, what it used to be like. And so we've always been a decade or maybe even a generation behind Charleston. And I give Bill a lot of credit. We've completely transformed downtown. I mean, it's been amazing.
Well, you've been a part of that, John.
I was a big part of it. And the thing you always want to do when you're in a role like that is you want to leave the place in a better situation than you were in. And, the big thing that I did when I stepped away is I left him in a tremendous amount of momentum.
Yeah.
And all that stuff happened. It's been amazing. He's got this incredible feather in his cap despite his party affiliation. But yeah, Nikki's right. I think that it's a situation where I think he's going to have to hand it over. He's going to have to pass the baton.
Right.
He's going to have to pass the baton.
Has to happen sometimes. Because,
there was an election not too long ago. I pulled the lever for a Democrat, and it was Bill Saffo because he was the least of too bad. The guy who was running against was a socialist. He had a T-shirt that had his own image in it, and similar to the pictures of Che Guevara. And I was like, I do not want that guy anywhere near public office. And then his news about him came out afterwards, but that was close. That was what, 70 or 85 vote difference. I mean, it was close. And
it was.
And Bill's a good salesman for the city, but Joe Riley was at Charleston for 37 years.
Wow.
But the state laws are different between North Carolina and South Carolina. North Carolina, it's a council manager form of government. But in Charleston, Joe Riley signed the checks. He was the city executive as the elected mayor. So it's a completely different style of governance. And so, my earlier prediction about sweeping the council, what's important to understand is council members actually have a little more power than the mayor. If you can get 4 conservatives, those are 4-year terms. The mayor has to run every 2 years. And so the council members, if you can get 4 on the same page, they can control the dynamic for 4 years.
Fantastic. Well, those are great predictions. I like that. All right, let's move on to round 2. Culture. And I actually really do like AI John. I think that I think he looks really good there, John.
We're going to long neck.
We're going to move over to culture for predictions for the culture side. John, you're our guest. We'll start with you because Nikki probably doesn't have one for this one either.
Oh, I've got one.
Oh,
That's
okay.
What I have.
I think 2025 is the great resurgence of comedy and creativity.
Oh, that's going to be great. It's been a really miserable 4 years.
They remade the movie Vacation. They're remaking something.
I heard that was a hoax. Chris, Vacation with Chevy Chase. I heard that was a hoax.
They're remaking it. They remade it without him. They remade it with all new characters.
Wow.
They're remaking. They're doing Snow White right now?
Well,
I don't know.
They're doing Snow White, but or they did Snow White, and it's in the editing process. But it was
and it's
so
a lady
woke.
of color.
Yeah,
and it's got a kind of a DEI tone.
Yes,
I think this is the rebirth. I mean, Shane Gillis, these other comedians, that have just been pushing the edge the last few years, and I think it's my hope that we have a resurgence of creativity. There's been too many remakes. I'm just sick of the remakes. Nobody wants to go see a new version of a movie 20 years ago.
Yeah. Especially
Star Wars Part 347.
Oh, please, no.
Well, that's a different element. Let's not go there.
Have you ever been to the Black Crow Comedy Club downtown?
Yeah, actually, in real estate, I actually did that deal.
Did you really?
Those owners are very good friends of mine, and they do a great job. But the comedy, it's been hard for comedians, and so my prediction and honestly my hope is that comedy and creativity come back. Think about, I've been, somehow I got on this, I liked something, and now on my Instagram feed I see scenes from Seinfeld every day. Because Seinfeld was
Seen
and
that.
Cheers and these shows that had these amazing one-liners and amazing dialogue, and it was just laugh out loud funny stuff. And I think we've been missing that for a number of years because everybody's afraid to say something that might offend somebody. And I think comedy and creativity are going to make a huge comeback this year.
I'm looking forward to that. That's great. Nikki, what do you got?
Oh, okay. So, conspiracy theorist here.
Uh-huh.
So, Laura Trump backed down from one of the big races in Florida, and I predict that she is stepping away from politics, but she's going to join RFK in making America healthy again. She
okay.
is doing a lot of workout and trainings. She has a new athletic wear out. I think that's going to be her new thing, not necessarily on the political platform, but she is kind of going to join RFK in making America healthy again. That's my prediction. I can see her doing that. She is. She was actually in town over the Christmas break, and a friend of mine ran into her over in Mayfair, and she said, "Wow, she is just like rocking body. It's awesome." So, you rock on, Laura. Get it done.
John,
Let's make America healthy again.
John, you've been around here long enough. Nikki, you have too. Do you know Laura Trump's family over there in Wrightsville? Have you run into them?
I didn't know them. I've met and have spent a lot of time with her mother in the last few years. Super nice people. I've followed some real estate transactions her father's been invested in, and super nice people. I've had the chance to meet Laura Trump. In spite of her 6 hills, she's still taller than me. And she does perform in triathlon. So she does, in fact, she raced a triathlon the weekend before she was announced RNC co-chair. So she is a healthy lifestyle. In my household, we suspect that she might be pregnant because she's making an announcement in January.
Wow.
So the baby bump's not showing yet.
Oh, wow.
But that doesn't count among my predictions.
No. Well, my cultural prediction, I had one, but I think I've changed it. So, I'm a pastor by training, and we have seen the church decline. But I think in 2025, Nikki just stepped out for some reason. I think she's getting her internet back up. We're going to see a resurgence of faith in 2025. I think you're going to start seeing college students come back to the faith. I think we're going to see families come back to the faith. And I think we're going to start seeing some of that old-timey religion back. I think people are going to start craving that kind of idea. I've just got a message that Nikki Bascom's internet went out. So John, there she is. She's coming back. She's coming back in. So we're just going to vamp a little bit, but Nikki's coming back.
If there's any advantage to living in the city limits, is reliable internet.
It really is. Although, do you have fiber down where you are at?
Yeah, I have AT&T fiber.
Yeah, see, we don't have that out where I'm at. Even though I'm in the city limits, we're hoping for Lumos to come in. Lumos, hurry up!
I want Starlink, to be honest.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Not a bad prediction rule. I think you're right. I think if you think about the opening passage of the book of John, in the beginning was the Word, and I think you're dead on right. I think kids are looking for it. Shout out to my home church, Northside Church, up in Murrayville and North College Road, which happens to also be the location of the February 8th
third straight year in a
County
row
Republican Party County Convention. Registration opens February 1st. I think it's critically important that pastors begin having real conversations and really talking about life and culture. My pastor spent the entire year on the weapons of spiritual warfare. And he said the first sermon in January of 2024, I'm not going to mix words with you folks. It's an election year, and we are not fighting the other party. We're not fighting each other. This is good versus evil, and you have to speak to it. You have to say it. You have to say the words. You have to speak out against it. And it's made me and my wife so much stronger and better. And I think that I think you're right. I think we're going to see a lot of that. I'm excited for it.
We need to. Nikki, can you hear us? Oh, she's working on that, folks. Okay,
so how do you measure that prediction?
How do I measure that prediction? You can see it in the culture. You can feel it in the culture. You can.
Okay.
You can. But this, and it's also one of the reasons why I play the lottery, because I know that I'm going to win. They're going to announce the numbers, and that's when Christ will return. So that's just my level of luck. So moving on. This is the long shot. This is the winner take all. Nikki says that she can hear us. Nikki, try your phone, or try your microphone. See if that works. If we can just get your sound in. So this is the winner take all. This is the long shot. This is the one that you really hope comes true. That has a very long chance of coming true. But if it does, then it's going to have a profound effect on our culture, our politics, our political landscape for years to come. John, what do you got?
So mine's pretty big. I think most of our mainstream media rely on this a lot. And I think if my prediction comes true, we may lose a few mainstream media organizations. And I think that at some point in 2025, there will be a ban of pharmaceutical advertising on network television.
That will be fantastic.
That'll happen.
There's so much stuff. There's so much garbage. Have you ever listened to the disclaimers at the end of all those?
Yeah. Hey, try rural sample for your problem. And if you're allergic to rural sample, don't take rural sample. How would I know I'm allergic to it if I haven't ever had it?
Exactly. And I remember listening to one where it listed the whole things, and including "you may die."
Yeah. Morbid bowel movements.
Why? And everybody's in favor. The only people that are not in favor of that are the pharmaceuticals, but doctors
and TV networks.
Because that's big money.
It's huge. It's got to be 60% of their advertising dollar, right? I mean, it's got to be huge.
But doctors hate it. Caregivers hate it. Everybody hates it.
And the advertising dollars, have to be driving the creative content. The substance of what they're reporting and talking about. News organizations, oh no, you guys can't talk about sudden death syndrome. No, you're not. No. There's no factual evidence. There's no peer-reviewed studies.
There she is. Nikki Bascom has joined us once again. And she's yeah. Please don't ever do that again.
She got the gears hooked up to the hamster wheel for her internet service.
So you guys know that my husband just had back surgery. And he just can't run on the treadmill as fast as he used to keep.
Atta girl.
Well, to catch up, Nikki, is that John Hinnant's big go big or go home prediction is there will be a nationwide ban on pharmaceutical advertising. I think that's going to be. I think that's.
Good job, John. I think that's great. I think there also needs to be a ban on pharmaceutical kickbacks for doctor. Like they get X amount of free samples if they push a product, and I don't think that's right.
That's right, because if you're going to get a sample, you have to pay for it.
That's a good one, John. I like that.
You like that?
Coming from a guy named Rural Sample.
He rules the sample. So
That's right.
was that the winner take all? Because there's
That
the
was
cultural there's the cultural prediction, and then there's a winner take all.
Well, because you didn't pay your internet bill. We've already gone through the cultural one. Is that
Sorry.
and so we're gonna go right to you for the big winner take all.
Oh, I see what happened. I see what happened. She got a refill.
She got a refill.
And
John,
now predictions on whether it's an NA or not.
right. John, I told you ahead of time. This is a little bit different feel of a podcast than other things that we've done together. So, Nikki, what do you got for you? Go big or go home?
Go big or go home. I have along with I did hear the part where John said that Laura Trump has big news in January. I also have big news. I'm not pregnant, no. But something has changed in our family dynamic, and I just want to hear, instead of doing a trivia question for everyone, I want to hear everyone else's predictions. What do you think has changed in Nikki's life? What's going on?
Oh, okay. Well, she is true, because I know what it is, and that it is a big thing. So I'll let you get it.
Something huge is on the horizon for the
it.
Bascom family. And,
I'll let you get away with that. I'll let you get away with it.
So are we supposed to respond to that?
No. I don't think she wants you to, because she's not allowed to.
Not allowed to say anything yet.
She's not allowed to say that. Okay, so here's my go big or go home. I think the Republicans are finally going to bring to the floor the fair tax bill. I think. Not the flat tax. The flat tax is a Trojan horse. It's the fair tax bill, where we go from a tax based on income to a tax based on consumption, which is the fairest thing to do, the fairest way. And they've been Huckabee is a big fan of it. Trump talked about it. I think John he talked about it a couple times during the campaign.
I've read back in the day, gosh, 25 years ago, I read the Neil Bortz book.
Yeah, I have it
fair
signed
taxing.
by Neil Bortz.
And a recent Tucker interview, I think it was with Elon, he said, in today's economy, you're either a consumer or a creator.
Mm-hmm.
And consumers should pay the freight.
Yeah.
If you get taxed on what you spend. And back in the old days, when you went and bought something, the retailer gave you revenue stamps. And so when it was time to file your taxes, you put your revenue stamps into your tax bill and said, here's my taxes I paid. And so, yeah, I'm all for it, man. I'm there with you. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go back to a barter system. Hey, I can do this for you. What can you do for me? And
Yeah, exactly.
I'm ready to go back to that.
That's how
Nikki's for
we're
a back scratching economy.
that's how we're getting revenue and writers for the Wilmington Conservative. Is that we are we're switching.
We're working for scraps over here.
Well,
What will you do for a Guinness from Rules
Exactly.
Refrigerator?
What will you do for a Kit Kat bar?
well, the great thing is that all these predictions are on the internet, and the internet is forever. I think there's some great prognostications. So I think that is worthy of this.
Oh, Lord. We predict the future.
I worked so very hard on that graphic. So, John Hinnant, thanks for joining us tonight. You look good. You sound good. You look happy.
Probably wouldn't know I had an eye procedure today, but I feel good. I'm excited that I didn't have to go in for the deep dark surgery. I'm feeling great right now.
Fantastic. Well, this isn't going to be the last time that you're on the podcast, especially next year when you have to pay the bill for all these wrong predictions that you've got. So,
are we doing this with other guests or no?
No, it's just you.
Okay, you'll be calling me Swami next year.
Yeah, it's because we always go for the developers who know the places to take us. So, John, thanks.
I think next week it's going to be New Year's traditions, and then we're going to be getting ready for convention.
Yeah. This is the
Our
last.
our county convention.
Yeah, this is the last episode of the season. So
Whew.
season one
You have
of
seasons?
we do. Yeah, the season
This
one
is
of
season
the
one.
this is
Okay.
season one of the Nikki and Rule podcast experience. So and it
Thank you
truly
for
is
helping us
one.
get off the ground.
Yeah. Happy to.
John, have
Anything
a
to
great.
show off my big poinsettia.
I
I love it. Wait, is that yours or is that Jamie's?
It's probably technically Jamie's, yeah, because I'm not allowed to water things around here.
John, happy New Year.
I don't have to water this.
I have no green in my room.
I've
my
carried
office.
that before. I know what it is.
I have no green in my office. John, happy New Year to you. Thanks for joining
Happy
us.
New Year as
Happy
well.
New Year,
Thank you.
John.
Everybody have a safe and blessed New Year. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to be with you, and love you guys. See you in the new year.
All right.
If that's
Oh, I cut him off. John,
I mean, we can't expect professionalism around here anymore.
and for that one critic who doesn't like the sound or the look of our podcast, it hasn't gotten any better. So,
Cutting people off. We've
so
got cups.
it's good. That was great. That's another show in the bag. There are a couple things. The answer to the trivia question from last week is
Oh, Lord, I'm supposed to read. It was 11 pipers piping. My
11
true love
pipers
gave to
pipers.
me 11 pipers piping.
And then the big trivia question, and Nikki got away with it in the big go home or go big or go big or go home.
I am
is,
so excited.
What is the big thing that's coming up for her? So make sure that you put that in the comments, like and subscribe, and let us know what you think. And Nikki, what?
It's not a smile. I can't. I'm kind of conflicted. Do I smile? Do I cry? Because my whole life is about to change in 2025, and I'm nervous, but I'm excited, and I put in some resignations to a lot of things this week because of it, and. Oh, guys, 2025 is going to be amazing.
It's going to be a great year.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a great year, and we just need to look forward to it and be happy and be thankful because you know, like I mentioned earlier, my husband had emergency back surgery the Friday before Christmas, and as hard as it was to sit back and realize that I'm not on the school board, even though I felt like that was my job, that's where I belong. God said no. God closed that door. And no matter what anyone's going through, when those doors close, it's okay. It's for a reason, and for probably a pretty good reason. And I feel like he showed it to us over this Christmas season. Being home to be able to take care of my husband, to take care of my family, and what's coming up in 2025. God knew what was best, and I give him all the glory.
I am looking forward to 2025. I'm looking forward to what you and I are doing here on the podcast experience. I'm looking forward to what we're going to be doing over there on the Wilmington Conservative. We have just received our LLC, and so we are duly registered with the state of North Carolina. We have folks coming on board. We've got Tony McGee, who's writing a religion column for us every week. We've got Jonathan Bridges, who's writing for us from the Business Alliance. We've got other folks who are coming on writing tech articles. We've got podcasts coming on. It's going to be a great platform for a conservative outlook here in Wilmington. So I'm looking forward to that.
All of those naysayers are like, oh, I can't believe you have that person writing or this person writing. Come on, show us what you got. You want to write?
Come on.
You want to write? You want to get on a podcast? Come on.
Drop us a note. Drop us a note.
I don't want to hear that. Oh, I can't believe the Wilmington Conservative did this, and I can't believe the Wilmington Conservative had that. Nope. You want it? Bring it on. Let's go.
And there's the gauntlet laid down for 2025.
There you
Nikki,
go. There's your prediction.
That's right.
We're not listening to it. We're not listening to it.
We took a week off for Christmas, but we're not going to be taking any more weeks off again. So next week, we're going to be back on with yet another guest as soon as Nikki finds us one, and some more experience here on the podcast.
Who wants to join us?
Nikki, all the best. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Rule.